All right, everybody, let's get ready for our Mountain Majesties Paper Pumpkin Alternates. This is from our May kit. You're going to find this time that I'm using a bunch of outside the kit products, which I try to not normally do, but I was kind of befuddled on what I was going to do. So it is a twofer. We have 2 cards for each one, and let's get started. I am going to show you, this is the first card that we're going to make from this card. All right. And my second one, before I was getting other ideas, I just made the second card the same as the kit, except since I cut it in half, I mounted it on Mossy Meadow and Lost Lagoon. So this card is not really twofer, but it's twofer. So we're getting 2 here, but I'm only going to make 1 because the second one is, like I said, it's a kit card, but it's mounted on cardstock. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this card in half, and this is from the kit, obviously. I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to cut it at 4 inches by 5 1/4. So this card we're making, I'm using this back half. The original card layout, I used the front for that. So keep that. You can use that. And then we're going to make this be 5 1/4. And I'm going to cut 1/8 of an inch off from each side to make it on the quarter. Okay. Then we have a piece of pecan pie. Ooh, that sounds good right now too. I could use a piece of pecan pie. All right. And let me get my goodies. I've already got everything cut and ready to go, so we don't have to stop too many times. I have a 11 by 4 1/4 inch piece of Mossy Meadow. Fold it in half or score it at 5 1/2 and burnish real good. Then I have a piece of pecan pie that is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Those are really hard to measure, so just make sure if you need to trim, make sure, see how it's going to fit, because you know, if you're a little bit off on the line, then it's going to show, and you won't have very much space, or the right amount of space. So I'm going to glue this piece on to the front of our base. Eyeballing that for... And I do have the green glue here, so I could slide that around just a smidge and be good. All right, I'm wearing that. I had to go get my other glue bottle. I'm all sticky already. So first piece I put on. So now we're going to work up this piece. I just used black on here for my sample, but because you got Misty Moonlight in your kit, we'll switch over to some Misty Moonlight, and we're going to add some birds to the background. And you can probably do this at the end if you want, just to see where you need to put them for your trees, but I'll put that down there. And then I used, let me show you, my Frosted Forest bundle. I used the trees, so I'm going to use this tree, and then this piece here, I'll show you, cut out the centers. So I did pull Frosted Forest in for this card, and I try not to, but I just couldn't not this time, because I just was struggling trying to figure out what I can do. So I'm going to build my little tree here. Just gonna glue I did pecan pie for the inner, and I don't know if this is actually how you would want to build this tree. I've seen several different ways that people are building the tree, but this is how I'm building it for this card. So we're gonna put the branches, the trunk, the body of the tree down, and then I'm going to glue on the little detailed piece that I cut out. So I'm going to glue that over the top, and I'm just going to bring in, probably you could use your adhesive sheets. Sometimes I don't think that far ahead until it comes to gluing, and I say, oh geez, I should have used my adhesive sheets on this. So you might want to use some adhesive sheets. So then I'm just going to glue that on there, and because it is going over the top of the trunk, I want to hold it on to get that glue to adhere. All right, then I have some Granny Apple Green ink and a sponge, and I'm just going to add some random sponging to my leaves to give another look of fullness, some color, some variation to the color. Then we're going to glue that onto our card front, and I'm going to glue it like way over. You could probably put the whole thing on if you wanted. I didn't cut my top layer to be over that far, but you probably could put it on a little more. I'll do that. I'll leave it on there a little bit more this time. Still got to cut it off because I didn't cut my top layer, but I'll show you also what I did on these. I pieced my top layer that I had, I didn't make enough, and so it kind of fell apart. So when I got it on, I used some extra pieces to fill in that space. So you could always do that too. So let's go, we'll go right about here on this one. We'll put it in a little further. No problem there. And then we're going to cut off our excess. Like that. We'll go ahead and glue that on. We need some more birds. I need that little tiny flock of birds. There's just like 3 or 4 little tiny ones in there. And we'll put them way over here because they're like way out in the distance. They're coming in. They're flying in still. They're not there yet. Let's go ahead and glue this on. To the front. And this kit was designed to kind of be a masculine kit. I think pretty much all the cards that I came up with are masculine. You could probably take a few of them and make them a sympathy or something like that if you wanted to. I've got some white scrap here and my pecan pie, and I'm going to use a stamp from the kit, the To a Wonderful Man. This could also be birthday or Father's Day, whatever you need a card for a wonderful man. This is not an envelope. This was something else that I was making, so I'm just going to stamp that, and then I'm going to cut it out. There's no worries that there's glue on it or anything, so I'm going to cut it out, and I won't make you watch. I'm going to stop, and I will be back after I get it cut out. I'm also then going to glue it onto a piece of pecan pie paper and make a back layer to it. So let's get that part going, and I will be back in a minute. Okay, so I mounted it onto a piece of pecan pie. And then now I'm just kind of eyeballing a little bit of space around the pecan pie. And then I will come back and look it over and see where I might want to trim something up or round it off a little better. My scissors didn't get in there good, or if I got too close or too far away. And then I'm just going to glue this flat. You could pop it up, all up to you. Pop it up, but I'm going to glue it flat. Just put it down here at the bottom. To a wonderful man. And then you can put a piece of white on the inside. And I did stamp Happy Father's Day on this one. Oh, I might as well do that on this one too. I need some Father's Day cards. Let's find it. All right, let's put that down in pecan pie. And then glue that to the inside, and we should be good for our first card. Looks like I have some green on my desktop. Probably from when I made the leaves on the flower, or the tree. All right, so there we go with our first card. Happy Father's Day. And again, the second card is just, well, let's go ahead. I'll add it in here. So, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to show you. I got all the pieces. And then it is just going to follow the first instructions. I was a little confused. This will have to cut down to a little bit to cut that edge off, but I was a little bit confused by looking at this piece because these the little pieces are all over the place. So you need a green vellum. This is for another card. You need the, I'm going to call it Lost Lagoon piece off of here. This is for another card. You need this green piece and this Lost Lagoon paper piece. And the rest is for another card. So then it shows you to put some tape, two-sided tape on the two vellum pieces, and then put the pop dots on these pieces, and then it uses one of the tags in there. So that they just glue on over each other. So it'll show you here A, B, C, and D. So this guy will be A, and you'll see it's just going to cover up the whole card. Here's going to be A and B and C, and you're just going to line them all up to the bottom, and then D. And then the ones with the pop dots will stick up a little higher. But that's how these cards work. Just build off, line it all up at the bottom, and then glue them on. So that is this alternate, or the second card. Like I said, we'll then stamp some birds up here, mount this on some other paper, and you'll be good to go for my second card from this one. I'll be back. Thanks for watching.